Thank you so much for coming. You know, there has been rather strong condemnation of COG on the sidelines of this particular conference, specifically regarding spending priorities. There's a report out by the Devolution Ministry, and it's saying that the Council of Governors used R1 billion on operating costs alone. And the question is, have governors lost sight of the real priorities in counties?
I'm not in receipt of such a report, but if the reports I hear is that they are talking about 900 million shillings over a period of 3 years, that indeed is not a waste of money, because divide by 3, you would be talking about 300 million. I remember we gave the Ministry of Devolution a budget of about 440-something million during the time when I was the chairman of the Council of Governors, and they only gave us 30 million. Remember, the Council of Governors is a creature of the Intergovernmental Relations Committee, Intergovernmental Relations Act. Intergovernmental Relations Act, which is an act of Parliament, and it has got huge responsibilities. In fact, we have got committees similar to those of the Senate, and in fact, we've got sectors just like there are in the national government. Remember, there has to be a committee to work on this intergovernmental relations, transfers of functions, smooth operations of both levels of government. But
they're also talking about something like 240 million shillings spent on office rent alone. Is that a reasonable cost in your opinion?
You will have to look at the rent of per month. We actually asked national government to give us one of the government buildings, and we persuaded them. They refused. At one stage we were in Jogo House, but we were told to leave, that they were only going to give it to the police. They told us to look for alternative rent elsewhere. It is very important that we have these officers so that we are able to function. Otherwise there will be poor coordination and there would be no devolution happening. Remember, these are the stages, the first stages. This was a transition period, and in fact all over the world governments, regional governments have officers at the headquarters, including even in the US. Everywhere they all come together.
Well, you know, when it comes to service delivery generally and the performance of governors, healthcare is one area consistently where the feeling is that there has been absolute failure. Every now and again there's some sort of health worker strike that's ongoing. Currently there's, I believe, a Nandi health worker strike that is continuing. What exactly is the problem? Is this something that perhaps you just need to go back to the Kenyan public and say we can't handle?
No, that is not true at all. And in fact those are some of the issues that we could dispel if some of them actually attended the conference. That would be dispelled in the eyes of the senators, because they hardly attend functions at home. They have no idea that healthcare has actually improved tremendously. Take, for example, a hospital like the one I have, Longisa Hospital. It's now a referral hospital, but there was no water, and there were only 30 patients when we took over. Now they have got 240 inpatient. We've got dialysis, we've got ICU, we've got oxygen plants, we've got everything up to date, and there are 1,200 patients per day, something that never was those days.
But why the constant downing of tools, do you think, then?
It is in 1 or 2 places, and then those problems, let me just tell you,
that is simplification.
Let me tell you, some of the problems that affect personnel, for example, they are talking about failure to upgrade them over a period of 10 years, long before devolution came into the fore. So if they were not promoted 10 years ago, would it be a problem for the current governors? Would it be the current devolution? And I also want to tell you that, for example, files for the healthcare workers were only handed over to the counties late last year. And a lot of those things are still being sorted out now. You can't just promote people without their file. They have kept the file for the whole period of transition.
All right. Finally, there's been a feeling that this particular devolution conference has been some sort of spectacular failure, to the extent that one MP put it this way, that it was governors just talking to themselves. Senators failed to show up, MPs failed to show up, the president himself snubbed the meeting. What would you say that you've concretely achieved over the last few days?
Let me tell you, there will be no failure simply because they didn't attend. we have discussed a lot of issues, and we have had a lot of input from various stakeholders. We've had donors there, we've had academics, we've got various people who attended. Very many stakeholders actually attended that conference, and that conference is very important going forward. And I want to tell you, if national government and the Senate failed to come, it's their own volition, because they were involved. And in fact, even on the decision of the debts, we were planning together, including them chairing certain committees. What are they talking about now? What happened just the other day that they didn't come? Everybody was confirming they were coming. So did it change only yesterday?
You think they even wanted to shame the national government?
Let me tell you, the national government even invited the Prime Minister of Namibia, a minister from Burundi, another minister from Ethiopia. Is it the Council of Governors who
So why do you think they really didn't come?
They simply wish to sabotage devolution and to continue to
by snubbing a conference.
Well, but I want to tell you that devolution conferences are there to stay, and we'll go on with them, and we'll continue to sensitize Kenyans on the need to entrench devolution and to ensure that it succeeds.
Former Council of Governors
Chair examples. Yes.
Isaac Ruto. We're out of time. Thank you.